Cool. All right. So I should have picked up here on YouTube now. So cool. We are live. We got stuff in the background. I think my mic's perfectly fine. Solid. So if you clicked on this live stream, let's just get the formalities out of the way. You know, we've done this before for Bleach and Naruto. This is going to be a ranking for the best characters of how important they are to this series. Okay, so this is not personally like me saying, oh my goodness, you know, I love, who can I pull up here? These chimeras, right? They're just goodness. Like, they're not, let's be honest. So this is really how impactful the character is to the series. So we're going to be ranking it like that. Again, you can have your own opinion. That's perfectly fine. Put down in the comments down below. I've done a total of 3 of these right now. This is the 4th. I love going over different series like this. And I must say, I did rewatch FMA and Brotherhood to get ready for this. Okay, so again, just to make sure we're all on the same page here, this is not, you know, just like, oh my goodness, like I'm just willy-nilly throwing it out here. But of course, you're going to have different opinions. So perfectly fine. If you disagree with anything, let me know. But again, I'm talking about how important a character is to the series. Okay, so I know a lot of you are going to jump towards the end and just see the ranking, but if you want to get an explanation, watch the full thing. I greatly appreciate it. Before we jump into that too, I also want to say this. The live streams itself are going, you know, pretty solid, I would say, for what they are. And they're, you know, nice to have, you know, people joining and everything. I think what I would like to do, if you know, I've had a previous, another channel called Akko just by itself, where we went over games, right? We went over Pokemon, Persona, all this other cool stuff. And currently, right now, there is not a media, because I'm not posting on that channel, right? So what I would like to do is go ahead and use this platform with Akko HD as a way that we can just do live streams of anything, right? I'm talking about doing, you know, maybe we sit there and hop on Showdown. Maybe we play some fan Pokemon game. Maybe we do some other stuff as well, you know. Even just talk about games or Nintendo's, you know, whatever you, the direct. And this, etc. Just going live where people can join in and talk about things, right? I think this is a pretty good way to do it. Now, it is going to be different because it doesn't have to just be anime, right? I think that's the thing is, like, a lot of people say, hey, stay in your niche. But I really want to make sure that everyone is getting a part of what they want to see and being able to join and tune in, right? So that all being said, here probably towards the end of this summer, the plan is to start making this a wider thing, right? So I really want to get your feedbacks. It would be great if you put it on maybe even another video, especially on these live streams when I talk about it, to say, hey, how do you feel about, you know, doing these, what's another you can do? Just playing something live, you know what I mean? Just doing anything that's beyond anime. We can still do anime. It doesn't have to be these tier lists, but I will continue to do tier lists like this because, you know, we got a passion. We got a passion. So anyways, I'll for sure put a community post or something like that as we're getting closer to that date. But let me know what you would like to see on the channel that we can just, you know, sit down together and be live. Not going to be no new Kai Cenat or anything, but hey, why not do it? So nonetheless, I'm done rambling. It is now time to go over Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and where we're ranking these characters. I also need to say, as you see the tier list, you have an S, A, B, and then I'm putting common as you just did not really matter. And if you're dead, I probably don't even remember you in the series because you were completely useless. Most characters will be probably going within the C and D range down here. Let me get this out. I wish y'all see that. The C and D range down here. Because I'll be honest with you, most of these characters, even though I just watched this the past month, I do not remember most of their names. So, again, you may say, like, hey, a certain character is actually just goated. I love them. Peak. That's perfectly fine. But, hey, if, you know, maybe I just disagree with it. I think someone is not as fire as I, you know, personally think it is, right? So, but let me know in the comments down below. And maybe there's some characters on here that I may be missing. Like, I don't think, I mean, they even have, you know, truth and everything on here, so I think it looks pretty solid. But let me know down in the comments. It's like, hey, I think that this character should be up here, or something is missing on this list, right? So get ready for my talking. We have plenty to talk about. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so first and foremost, I'm going to get the characters out of the way that I do not care about. These are characters that seemingly were just nothing but grunts that did not do enough to the series. I'm just being honest with you. Bam. 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 The chimeras were very useless. Now, I want to, prefix it with this. There are some of the characters that are chimeras that were interesting when they were transformed to their, crazy looking monster like form and everything like that. That was cool because they were kind of a threat. However, most of the chimeras, bro, they had their own episode or two, and that was it. I don't remember the names. I do not care about them. They were pretty useless. Chimeras easily go down here, right? I also want to bring up, because some characters like these two are going to be partnered together. Some characters did have a very huge role in what they did and how they affected the series later on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pick up one by one who I really want to talk about. And let's start off with, where are you at? Where's my... There we go. Yep. There we go. You already know what to say. Okay. Now listen. I'm like y'all. I'm going to put them here. This is GOAT team. These are the... But look, I can't. Okay. I'm going to put them both here. But I'm gonna put is the name General Tucker? I can't, it's not, maybe it's Tucker, I can't remember. Anyways, I'm gonna put him down here. So you guys know, I believe it's episode 3 or 4 of this series where our boy here, he was trying to get back his general, like, hey, I want to be an alchemist again and everything. And what he did is he transmuted his daughter and her dog into a chimera. Okay, that is insane. That was a crazy episode. I would say, and maybe I'll make a full video about this, of characters that have really, changed a lot of people's viewpoint about anime or even episodes. Another one I think of is Madoka Magica, which I've not done a video about yet. That's a great example of a series where I was like, man, Madoka Magica, mommy dying in that part was crazy. So again, here with I hope his name's Tucker. This dude right here, what he did to his daughter when Ed and Alphonse come back, and then suddenly, bam! It's just, you see this, and it's, plus she was sentient, like she could tell, hey, don't hurt Dad, after Ed was beating him to smithereens. So I think that's a solid way to say these two characters, I think, really kind of gave a big shock factor. I must also say that there are some characters like Greed that were a part of like FMA itself. I don't want to completely say that is canon. It is, but we're going specifically off of Brotherhood. And here I'm saying is, when you look at characters like these three, how do they impact the series later on? I could say his actions really did impact, and maybe they could be together, impact it later on, but I think the memory of what happened here and what some people do to get their actual license is kind of crazy. And we know how that does later on affect Ed, especially kind of really disliking a lot of different other alchemists he sees later on, right? And I think that's we're going to start off with these general, alchemists we have here. Most of them poop. To his memorable poop. Most of them, look how he's drawn. Most of them don't even do anything anyway, so it doesn't matter much. However, there are some here which I'm about to bring up him, and I would bring up his wife. I'm going to say she's dead right now because she is dead. But also, too, because how he infected the series of what happened when he found out about, I believe it was lust and not envy. I believe it was lust. So this one, I believe, was General Hughes, if I'm correct. Finding out about what happened with him and his, the daughter, and finding about lust and everything. The part where he was inside the telephone booth, and I believe it was lust that ended up killing him, not only affected Mustang later on, as well as the Elrics himself. His impact of dying to the chimeras, I think, kind of set off. Not only you don't forgive the the homunculus. Not only you don't forgive the homunculus period, which is, completely understandable, but you also felt like, man, dude, like this is like of the other, generals they had in here, this dude was solid. And I mean, I'm gonna pull him up here now. Now, you know what? I'm actually gonna pull him higher. I think Mustang is. Hey, what's up, Levi? This is for you, man. I'm gonna pull up actually Levi. Sorry, Levi. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna pull up Mustang top. So that's all I have about Hughes. I'm gonna say this right here for Mustang. We know that Mustang has went through a lot through the series, right? Even him going back to get revenge on, that was against Envy, I remember. So it must have been Envy. But anyways, him going back to get revenge on Envy. Let's see what was gray hair that long. I got to. Unless you got something else for him, bro, I got to. I'm gonna say this for Mustang. Him going back and him being like, hey, you did my boy, here, you did him dirty, right? And seeing him burn Envy to a crisp, solid character to me. Even the point, remember, I think when Sloth was making the what was it underneath? I believe it was the circle, the transmutation circle underneath the whole city and everything, that they needed 5 people, and it was supposed to be like the Elrics and who else was it? It was a couple more, I can't remember, but they literally blinded Mustang to use him as the 5th person. Now that's towards the end with father and whatnot, but anyway, Mustang went through a lot through this series. Even seeing him, the whole memorable scene about him talking about, oh, it's raining and stuff like that. He said like it's a terrible day to rain or something like that to his this girl right here, I forget her name, but he says it's a terrible day to rain, and then you see him crying because he got revenge, but he still feels that sadness. To me, where would I put him amongst the other characters in being S? We gotta see as we go along. Mustang, bro, though, I mean, if you've seen other series, it's hard for me to say that he is not like at a Levi level. I almost think this is Levi before he was Levi. You know what I mean? From Attack on Titan. So this is a solid character. We're gonna see where we put him with the other characters, but this is where I'm putting him right here. So let's keep going. I want to talk about more generals here. Most of these people working in office didn't matter much. I gotta talk about my boy Mr. Muscles though. I might put him in. I'm gonna put him above A. The thing is that he also has a lot of importance to the series because he not only fought Sloth. I think, matter of fact, I'm gonna pull him up here with his sis. These two fighting Sloth was very important. And Sloth, don't forget, is I would argue that Sloth is one of the top strongest homunculi there is. With Mr. Muscles and these two, I don't want to say that they're S tier because their whole, not as much the guy, but the other two saying like, hey, we're really just trying to fight Sloth. That's kind of where their story ends with the series. But I don't want to discredit them because they were just like Mustang, able to actually beat a homunculus, right? Which is a huge feat, right? So because of how much she came in so much later, I don't know where I would put her. I would argue that I like the guy more, but I can see, hold on, that's actually what I'm talking about. I see Levi said that I do like the sister as well. I can see people liking the sister more. The problem is she doesn't show up to a much later point compared to how important he was as well to the Elrics, right? So you can say they're interchangeable. I think they hit the same feat of beating Sloth, and that was their main goal. Give me 1 second here, y'all. I gotta look up something. I don't want to be wrong about this. Here we go. Just making sure it was the right. Because I can't be out here talking crazy and I don't know what I'm talking about. Where are the... Here we go. Okay, yeah, so it was Sloth. So yeah, so I think that's the thing. These two being able to defeat Sloth to me, both the Armstrongs, is like very important, especially because of what he was doing. Now he still completed his mission by making a transmutation circle underneath the city, but I still, the Armstrong, especially, I think if you look in a sense, What's his first name? Was it Lewis? I gotta look that up too. But anyways, Armstrong, this one, the guy, he was also a little bit more iconic of the series because of how long he's around. Like, and this dude here, which we'll talk about in a minute, they also had this like whole cool like, hey, respectable muscles part when they were fighting Sloth. So I'm gonna say these two are interchangeable, but I can understand if you want to put them differently, separately, whatever it is. So let's keep going and moving on. I am going to. All right. So let's see here. So there's a lot of other characters down here. I want to point out Scar and as well as his family. I see most of these characters go down dead. Scar, I'm going to put this guy because he kind of relates to Scar anyways. I'm going to say Scar is also an A-tier character. The problem with Scar is it took him a very, very long time to realize not everyone is your enemy. That sucks, okay? That sucks to see that Scar took so long to realize everything that happened with his clan, right, and his family is not every alchemist's fault. It's just simply not. So now I will say hey, him going out to kill these two, the Chimera that the dad made, put him out of misery. Like, he still had a good heart per se, which I won't toss that away. But at the same time, it's like, Scar, come on, dude, you got to realize that like there are characters out here that have nothing to do with what happened with your family, and he's over here trying to fight everyone. I get the homunculus, I get that. I think he had a fight with, was it Gluttony? I can't remember. But at the same time, why are you over here fighting Alphonse? I don't get that. I don't get that. So that's why I can't put him in S. I don't see it. I do think he's a good character. I just think a lot of times he's just angry for literally no reason, and that just doesn't make sense to me. So that's that there. Let's see. Who else do we got? Chimeras. More chimeras. Don't matter. Okay. Let's do these two. So I'm gonna put her atop of B. Grandmama here. I think hers, she's very important because, how do I say this in a nice way? She matters to Elric, right? She matters to Ed of what she was doing and everything, as well as getting him the prosthetic, arm and leg and whatnot. That's really her importance because she really did help the main character. When it comes to Winry, I'm gonna have to put her in A. I don't think this character is good, especially because she was missing throughout a lot of the series. But she not only plays a role very similar to Grandmama here, but as you know, she also is the reason that he has a kid later on, and he doesn't do it as often. But he also has like, hey man, like I got somebody at home that I gotta come back to. You know what I mean? So at the same time, I don't love Winry. I know a lot of people would say like, man, she's very similar to Sakura from the series, and I get that from the Naruto series. But I would not say that Winry is a bad character. I would just, argue and say that like she's good. She does her part. She does her role. However, you can go look at her and Grandmama, the same thing. Hey, we gotta make sure the Ed's ready to go fight. That's all it is. And some people here too, like, do I say like Ed and Alphonse's mother is like really high up here? I don't know, man. I don't want to say she is, because we understand that she's the reason when they try to do equivalent exchange to bring their mother back. I'm gonna put her in common. I mean, she doesn't really do anything to this series to really see anything. We don't see her like, hey guys, I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z. She just unfortunately dies of I think a sickness, I'm pretty sure, and then the boys try to bring her back. So I don't know. I don't want to. I'm not saying she's a bad character. I mean, she's dead, but I won't say that she's a bad character. I won't really list her here because she didn't have enough time in the series, but she is important. I just don't want to say she was enough for Alphonse and Ed. It just so happened that they were trying to do something to bring their mom back. But now, let's see. Most of the other characters here, they're in office. I don't like bro. Most of y'all, I just don't think y'all have a. I mean, like this dude here has like a lot of moments that he was pretty funny. But man, y'all don't do nothing for the series. Can't remember your names at all. And I just watched it a month ago. Like, man, like I don't know. Now let's go to the characters that I think are actually very important to the series. I know this may be kind of controversial because of how people may feel about the homunculus. I get it. But the homunculus really do affect the series because they all kind of work, you know, kind of like by themselves. I did watch the series, by the way, Levi. I did watch the series this time in dub. I watched the original one in sub, but I watched it dub this time. Didn't want to read. So let's go through one and one. And I'm going to order about how important I think they are. Kind of one is like this one sucks, this one's bad, whatever. Greed. Greed not only has a very boring ability, okay, but Greed is just melted away by punishment of father, right? That really sucked to watch. He might have been, if I remember, the first homunculus that showed up. If I am correct, I can't remember. But regardless, it really sucks to see. It's like, hey, he had his fight with Ed, and that was perfectly, you know, that's cool and whatnot. Ed couldn't even use his, like, you know, like the metal part of his like arm where it's kind of like a point to it because of Greed's hard body, which was cool. But when you realize the other homunculus that live around, Greed is just not, he's not as strong, man. He's not as strong. He ends up getting, you know, punished, and then he's gone again. I think one of the other homunculus ate him, if I remember correctly. Maybe I'm getting confused, but he was just really, really useless. It might have been Gluttony ate somebody, I can't remember. But regardless, Greed was probably the worst one. I'm gonna put him in common. And because they have an order here, I'm gonna go with Lust next. Now, Lust did have an importance with Hugh, right? She did have an importance with Hugh. And she also kind of worked as Gluttony's babysitter a lot of the times, where there was also fights between the Elrics and these two, which was kind of cool to see. But again, Lust, I don't want to sit there and be like, oh, hey, Lust was a great character or anything like that, because she wasn't the best. I'm gonna come back to Ling. I'm gonna come back to Ling because we got them here. I'm not gonna say that Lust was the best homunculus either. She just wasn't there. Was not impressed by her. She was better than Greed because she still had effect to, you know, Hugh, and that kind of breed on. But anyways, besides that bleeding on, I'm not going to say that Lust was great either. I still put her underneath here. But getting to the real homunculus over here, I would say these three, and wherever, Pride and Bradley, those are the main ones that really pop out. So first off, Gluttony. Because Gluttony was a failed experiment to start off with, he is for sure one of the strongest homunculus that we see. And I think that he does a very good job compared to others like Greed and Lust, showing what his actual sin is. Now, it's pretty simple. It's just, hey, I eat. But I didn't see, you know, Lust really walk around being a thought that much, except for Hugh one time. You know what I mean? It just didn't happen constantly. And I think that's the thing that really sucks is when you see Gluttony, you can tell for the first time, this is what sin he is, right? And because you know what homunculus he is, it really fits his character. He also has a lot of moments too later on where you kind of see that his stomach opens and he has like the, you know, he is like a walking like black hole and everything. I think that while he doesn't talk, he doesn't really do anything important to push the series further. I can't see him, maybe you can put him down here in B, but I can't see him falling, you know, like going past A and falling in common. There's no way. I would say to me that Gluttony is this is where everyone in homunculus should have been, at least at his level. And that's why I put Lust and Greed lower than Gluttony. That being said, barely, I'm going to put Sloth up here. Sloth was, I think, one of the last homunculus we've seen. And we saw him, by the time we get to the Armstrongs, specifically the sister, where he's, digging a tunnel and everything like that. The thing is, he is literally doesn't think, doesn't have a brain. He's almost like Gluttony, but doesn't have emotion, right? So he doesn't have a character. I could see that maybe he falls down a little bit more too, like around here. But because of him actually completing his goal of making the circle, I cannot say that does not affect everything, right? He still did what he was supposed to do, no matter if he got beat up later on by these two or not. You know what I mean? So I'm going to put Sloth up here, but they really should have shown more character for Sloth that they didn't do, okay? Moving right along, these three are the big ones. Envy. Envy is, I think, who actually killed Hugh, if I'm correct. I can't remember which one. Something, it was Lust and Envy. They look so similar to me, they're like bleeding in together. Sorry, this tier list, and I said at the beginning, my fault. This tier list is specifically going over characters and how important they are to the series. Not where I would rate them of, hey, I think that, oh gosh, I don't know. Let's just say Ling, right? I think he's S here. I'm saying these characters are this important to the series with how they affected the story. All right. So again, that's why I have, depending on where it is, like I don't see Lust being the top homunculus, right? She's not. She did not affect the series that much. But Mustang was basically there from start to finish. Especially when you kind of get into the city and everything, he was really there from start to finish, especially what he did. I'm pretty sure he was the one that killed Lust, but he is for sure the one that burned Envy to death, right? But going back to Envy, Envy was also a character that I saw him just as similar. Is it a her? No, it might be a... but just like Gluttony, that was like, hey, this character, you can tell that they are literally a... like a manifestation of their actual sin. Envy was hating on everyone, just envious of everything, and I think that was this was a great character. Not to mention when you showed the true form, that was not the human form of Envy. It was that small green looking Zygarde like form thing, but you saw that how many people that his soul was made out of from the stone, the Philosopher's Stone, that he showed that, right, of him being envious of everyone else. Put the mom. Top three. See, it's hard for me. I get what you're saying. Keep going, Levi, about putting the mom in top three. Would you really say the series started off because of their mom? Because I get what you're saying, that they try to bring back, Ed and Alphonse try to bring back the mother, but that really didn't make them, Les gets bonus points for killing Hughes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. she kind of bad too. Thanks for hopping in, Miss Campy. But again, let me come back to Envy for a minute. Let me just kind of talk again. I want to see what y'all got to say. I would say personally, it's hard for me to say that the mom is the reason the series completely started, because both Elrics really wanted the series to continue on because they were cared about alchemy from the start. Like, they wanted to learn about alchemy. That was them. They just so happened to know how to do it and said, hey, I'm going to go ahead and try to bring back my mother. And that's when the equivalent exchange thing happened on. But they still already were interested about alchemy. That kind of bleeds into what we're talking about, what I'm going to get to later on, going into, where is she at? Right here, where she lost her son. Right, she lost her son. Later on, she finds the Elric. She's like, hey, I'll train you guys, but you got to show me that you can survive out here by yourselves, right? They had that care to learn alchemy. I don't think that they really set off on this big ambition and big movement by themselves. Or, sorry, I think they did by themselves, but not really because of their mom. Their mom was a factor for sure, but I don't know if I would say that she's a top 3 factor. But I get what you're saying. Maybe she is B. But man, it's like I do see both Elrics really being kind of self-motivated. You know what I mean? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. That's just how I see it, though, personally. Again, let me know what you think. But I am kind of seeing both of them, and we're going to get to them at the end. You know we got to. I really think both of them are really self-motivated first. Their mom was really like, it was like they had the fuel, but the mom was just the thing to start the fire. So maybe she is higher up, but I don't see her up here. I just can't. Like, I mean, compared to who I'm going to put up here is somebody like, Hohenheim, right? Like, I see, like, Hohenheim is going to go up here. But we'll get to him in a minute. But the mom, we'll come back to the minute. Let me finish on Envy. I'm going to say I do think Envy is a top. By the way, thank y'all for joining. I can see y'all hopping in. Appreciate y'all. I'm going to say Envy to me is one of the best homunculus because he really shows he is envy. He's envious. And on top of that, his whole back and forth and everything with Mustang, I think that seeing Mustang kind of burn Lutz was pretty cool, especially because of Hugh and everything. And I did like, Hughes as a character. But seeing him burn Envy when he was in that big green Zygarde looking type of form, I'm going to sit there and say that he looked... He deserved it the most, it looked like, other homunculus, right? I partially felt bad for these other three because I'm like, man, but this is a character, I'm like, man, he really played the antagonist role very well, and you just had hate for him. Big hate for him. And let me pull these other two up because they're also... I'm gonna keep him different because this is also kind of partially agree. I'm gonna keep him separately in a minute here. Pride and Bradley. So Bradley being the first, I'm just putting him right here for a second. Bradley being the first homunculus, right? There was a living one. There was like a living person that was transformed into a homunculus is very interesting to me, especially because he was a leader. He showed that he, his eye and everything like that he was, hey, I am Wrath. I am stronger than most. I am a human that showed and went through all this torture and everything, and I'm here for that smoke. But why do I not care about him? Why do I personally feel as if some reason I don't see him as an S tier character? I do think he's A, but I don't feel as if the story continued to go off of him. In matter of fact, I'm going to bring Pride up here too, and just talk about these two. He being his son. If I remember correctly, Pride... Yeah, I agree. Bradley and Pride, I think, are great characters. But do I say that they're equal to Mustang for the series? I don't know. It's hard for me to say. It's difficult because I really feel as if when we first saw Pride, a little boy, and he was fighting against, I think it was Alphonse, I remember, because he stabbed through his like armor body plate and everything, that we really knew it was like, oh hey, from the start he was Pride, homunculus. And I don't remember if he was a boy from the start and they gave him a Philosopher's Stone to turn him into Pride. I know they did that for Bradley. I don't remember if they did that for Pride. The thing is, I don't recall. No, that's what it was. Pride specifically ate one of the homunculus to get stronger, and I feel like it was him that ate Gluttony. I'm pretty sure it was him that ate Gluttony. But it was always he was just strong. I don't remember him really pushing the story forward. I do think he's an A tier character though, especially showing that even amongst the homunculus, these two were like, hey, I'm running this ish. You know what I mean? But past that, I'm like, do I remember much more that Pride really did specifically? Not really. Not really. I don't want to split these two. Not really though. I think Bradley had more of a chokehold, especially because don't forget he was a blue suit man. He's running around with these boys. You know what I mean? He's in charge. And then when they find out that, oh my goodness, like King Bradley is a homunculus, now you gotta have smoke with him, and then it's just a different thing. So he was portraying a completely different. Maybe I have to pull up the opening for this one too, but I mean he was like, I think in the fourth opening, because they played like 6 different songs for the opening. Like Bradley was like completely just everything in that opening. It was like raining and he was like on the side, kind of torn up. But Bradley was a lot of the series like, hey, this is that big boy before we ever got to Father, right? So would I say he is S? I don't know, man. I don't want to say he's S. I for some reason don't. But let me come back. But I don't think Pride is for sure an A. I think he is kind of reborn at the end, everything too. So I'm gonna say he's an A. But I think Wrath is like it's kind of, could he pop in here? Maybe, we'll see. All right, so a lot of these other buffoons don't matter. See, he has this ambition character that represented the government of the nation, and also main plot point to the early part of this series as an antagonist of Mustang. Yeah, you're right. He was really the antagonist of Mustang. By the way, I appreciate y'all, hopping in. I want to hear you guys' thoughts and opinion. You're right. I do think that he was really that antagonist of Mustang. But here's a question too. Would you say that he was equal to Mustang? Right? Of how important he was as a character. I don't know. I mean, I don't see him falling underneath like, hey, he's really important, but I don't know if he was doing as much as Mustang was. He was an ambiguous character that represented the government. Yeah, and because he represented the government nation, it's hard too, because I don't know how much of his character represented for what his nation wanted, but also wanted to align with what Father wanted as a homunculi. And the other homunculi, the homunculus, right? You think there's a reason Mustang was so good? You cooking, I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what? I'm gonna come back and think about it at the end. I'm gonna put him up here S. I don't see him, because like that's a similar, and I apologize for jumping back and forth, but that's a similar reason why I would say, do you think Attack on Titan was Zeke the reason that Levi was so good? The Beast Titan, was he the reason? If anyone here has seen it, is Zeke the reason that Levi was so good? If you're saying in a sense here for this series that they really do pair together and that's why, I get what you're saying. And even if I had, Wrath here, whoever I put in front of Mustang, they're going to be 1 and 2, right? I just don't really see the Elfons having as much of a gripe against Wrath Bradley as much as Mustang, like you said, right? And that's why it's really hard. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna put him right here for S right now. We may come back to it, but that's where I see him. I appreciate y'all comments, though. I really do. Okay, let's keep going. Now we're just gonna pick and choose who we want to see here. I'm gonna take these two. I'm gonna put you Dan right now. I mean, honestly, you're B, but the wife here is who's really important. Let's talk about what she did in the series. I'm possibly going to put her in B. But first and foremost, we saw that she lost her kid, right? And she kind of went through the same thing that Elfons did. We're saying, hey, he is either top A or low S in my opinion, but def below Mustang. Yeah, I agree with you, man. 100%. I'm going to say, when she lost her child, you kind of saw her go through the same things that the Elrics did of, oh, hey, I really need to, try to get my child back. And that's where the whole equivalent exchange thing happened, where she's like, hey, you gotta give me some of them organs. And then she didn't get what she wanted, her actual child back. And whatever it was there was not her kid. I think she really showed a lot of sympathy for the Elric brothers, right? Including willing to train them. And we saw later on that, she gets involved again, where Sloth is coming around and everything like that. She really did what I really wished Hohenheim was also doing for his sons. I'm going to say she's a solid A tier character to me, bottom of A. Would I say she's around Gluttony? I don't know. I mean, she did train the boys, when they're really young, and kind of also help them, even though the boys really did have their own ambition to keep going anyway. And that's why I don't want to put the mother too high, wherever she went. Yeah, here. But I mean, I still think that her whole thing of I can sympathize for what happened to Elfine and Elric or Ed. Great. I'm okay with her. I think she's better than Gluttony. Is she as impactful as Whitney? I don't know. or Winfrey, whatever her name is. So that's why I'm put her right here. Now then, all of the let me make sure I'm not crazy here. Sorry, y'all. I got my little notes on the side to make sure I remember. Be taking notes so I'm not talking crazy sometimes for the big important stuff. Okay, so yeah. Let me look at this real quick. So okay, so here we go. So I needed to find Zangius. I can't remember. I can't tell what this group's name is. This group right here of the ninjas, right? They all, some of them, these two comedic effects, right? They're for fun, right? I'm gonna show up. Maybe pride is better, so A is a great tier. I agree. So I saw it too. You say compared to A. I would say right now, some of these two, I really feel like, and I think this is the girl with the black hair. I'm pretty sure, yeah. I'm gonna put you sucked. You were fine. Panda was cool, but he was comedy. I know you want to put him up here at number one. He's GOAT though. I'm gonna put you a little bit because you had she was always around Scar as well. These three afterwards when they got involved were really around each other. I don't see them splitting up. And then my boy right here. Before I talk, oh my goodness, great pictures next to each other. Oh my gosh. Okay, so before I start talking right about Yao, Ling Yao, I think it was Ling Yao. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this one was her name. Where did she go? With the I think her name was Fan. Yeah, something like that. But anyways, before I start talking about Ling Yao, let me know what y'all would put him at, because I think where'd he go? Where his other form was? Oh my gosh, where did he go? Am I blind? Here we go. When we see this version of him, I feel like it was a much better character to me. I think that a lot of them showed up as being joke characters, which really hurt them from the start, right? I'm not saying it was bad, but a lot of these characters in the series have their own comedic moments. Even Greed did, right? But I think once we had this transition for Ling Yao, I think it was a better character. I don't know if I would say that he is an S tier character though, but I think he stands up above, Panda and Fan and what was the girl's name? Was it Mei Chang? Mei Chang? I can't remember. Let me know what y'all will put here. I'm gonna put him in A for now. Yeah, I'm gonna come back in order, but I'm putting him for A. Let me see here, y'all. Let me see here what else we got here. Most of these characters I don't think really matter that much. Of course, I guess a couple more here I want to do, like these two. Who the I remember your face, but you didn't do anything. You're GOAT. We know who you are still. Below Envy is a good spot. I think so too. I will say though, I do like Lin Yao and Envy, like as characters. Like Lin Yao, I honestly thought that he should have been like another anime. I don't know why. Okay. Let's see here. Comment, another character. What's her name? What's her name right here? She was with Mustang all the time. I don't know where to put her either. I naturally want to put her around a solid B tier character. I really do. But I mean, she was a part of a lot of the fights, especially the fight with Envy and Mustang, right? But I would not say she's an S tier character. I don't know if I'm gonna put in an A tier character, honestly. Ooh, this list is hard. Yeah, I'm gonna say right now I'm gonna put her at B. I don't remember her name on top of my head, but I mean, even she's this really kind of Hawkeye. Thank you, Hawkeye. Yes. I feel like she's honestly just a side part of Mustang. Thank you, Riza Hawkeye. Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, I think that I do like the character a lot, but a lot of the time she was really just there to help Mustang. She wasn't really, if I remember correctly, doing any alchemy. I know she carried a gun on her as well, and she sometimes has carried extra matches for her. So I will say I like her as a character, and I honestly think that if I remember correctly, was there supposed to be something romantic between these two? I can't remember. um oh, man, y'all answering this stuff before I even say it. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, maybe there's more of a couple thing to it that I just don't recall, but I think she's a fine character, but I think Mustang kind of leads her. um yeah, you're right. Out of the best, she's the best of the Mustang crew. um Hell, man, I might put her in A. She's just so memorable. I mean, I think she's even more memorable than like Winry, and I did put Winry up here, but it's just the thing of she was always there for Mustang, right? For almost every fight he did. I don't see Winry was never there, scrapping it with Ed. So it's just like I can't say she was really impactful, but she was there for the character that was very important. So I'm gonna just put her right here for A, low A. She could probably go down to B, but I'm gonna put her there. So let me hit some more here. That's the daughter. I don't need anything to say about that. All right, so let's talk about Truth and then Father. I'm gonna call him Father for now. Which one do we talk about first? Father. Let's do Father. I'm gonna put him here for now. Let me just talk real quick. Father is a character that really felt as if he was not happy within the jar he was in to start off with, right? And when he realized that, hey, there's something else I can do, I want to get out of this jar, and everything that happened with him and Hohenheim, I think it was Hohenheim, he went ahead and became a copy and became Father, right, of Hohenheim. Looked just like him. His picture's not here, but he looked just like him. Everything. He's the one that went ahead, you had the final fight with. He's the one that had the homunculus, right? He's the one that did all this stuff to the series. He was the main villain, even though characters like Envy or Wrath or Pride took over that role very well of, hey, that's who the next big baddie it is that we have to beat. Father was the one behind it. He wasn't even like kind against the other homunculus. Again, he was the one that's like, hey, Greed, he burned Greed. It's punishment. So he didn't care about not only losing other homunculus, but he was willing to punish the other homunculi too. Right? Which is crazy. He literally had them calling him Father. So it's the amount of strength he had as Father, which was crazy. And not to mention, using Sloth, he also had the chance to make the underground transmutation circle, right? So he was like, hey, I'm gonna do the circle, it's gonna be solid. And he was planning so far ahead. Is he better than Mustang? I mean, again, it's not my favorite character. It's not. But he is so impactful to this series. I do think he is right now on this list so far, S. And matter of fact, so I'm talking about it, I might as well bring up Hohenheim here. Hohenheim, who, all those years back where he did have Father in the glass and everything, and then afterwards with a big event when Father, got all the glass, became who he was, he started teaching all these different places how to use alchemy and whatnot, and then got married to the mom, which I forget her name. And then he had, literally the two greatest characters in the series as sons. While he was not there enough with them, he still is a reason that all this stuff happened. It's really hard to say, though, which one was more important. Do I say the one that's literally a villain? And I don't quite get the reason as to why Father was doing... Because he, of course, wanted to see truth, right? But at the same time, all the work he did, everything that he, took, including, Scar's whole, ancestors, family, all that other stuff that he did. Would I say his wrongdoing is justified for him to be a better character than Hohenheim? I'm gonna say, I'm gonna put them right here like this. I do think I'm gonna put Father here, and I'm gonna put Hohenheim next. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. I think that's solid. That's solid for now. Most of these other characters down here I don't care about. Boop, 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 boop. I don't. Yeah. Some of them have their own moments, but I mean, you're dead. You don't show up anymore. Daughter. I'm glad he had a daughter, but don't care. All right. Main two characters. Oh, let me do Truth real quick. Actually, I'm going to put him in the bottom. I'm going to put him in the bottom. I'm going to put him in bottom S. I do think that this is a list. So, Truth is an interesting character because we kind of see multiple characters such as Ed and Father really seeking out truth, right? Of, hey, this is basically who you're trying to see and get more power, information, knowledge, whatever it is. You guys remember that iconic moment when Ed went to the same area that Truth constantly lives at to go get back Alphonse's body, and he points his finger as the doors were closing. I mean, to me, Truth is kind of the reason that a lot of characters were trying to get what they want or accomplish what they wanted to do. And he also was a character that's not only being like, hey, you need to follow this rule, right? This is how it is. This is how the world works. You're not breaking it. That's how Truth really worked. So I'm going to put him up there as S because of, what he is. You don't see him a lot, but you understand what he's about. And I say he, it's really an ideology, you know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, my goodness, my tongue. But I think the Truth's up there S. The last two I have on here that I think I care about, these two. So let me talk about them each because they all deserve their own. Let's start off with Alphonse, and then I'll tell you where I'll rank them in the list wherever, after I comment about them. Alphonse is a character that unfortunately got a very short stick, right? He lost his whole body. However, he did a lot of things, such as at the very end, he sacrificed his soul, I believe it was, including his body, to help his brother, right? During the fight against Father. Alphonse also was in his mechanical suit, so he knew, like, sometimes you think I think he said he can't eat for sure, and he said he can't sleep. So a lot of times his soul is stuck in here, but he knew things that other people would not know because he's not human anymore. And I think that's interesting because a lot of the times throughout the series, you see things such as like how he reacts around other characters or Winry or whoever it is, that he's like, he knows things and can give more information that you don't know. But he always was there for his brother, even fighting in such a metal plate. But you could argue too that like he knew alchemy better than his brother. I think as an alchemist, he was stronger. You could probably say that he was smarter too. I mean, I think he was. But Ed, being the big brother, was a character that had more charisma. That's what made him the leader, I guess, of the two. Al, though, I would say that he is so important because for all the fights he has, him being inside the metal suit and not, being able to eat and sleep, so he's constantly just aware of everything. And also seeing him in the final fight give himself up, right? I'm gonna put him here. I do think that he's just a little bit underneath his dad. But that's what I'm going to talk about next with Ed. Ed is a character where he also did the same thing. He also gave up his ability to use alchemy to bring back his brother. Solid thing to do. But Ed was also the gun-ho, charismatic, I'm doing it now, what's good, I'm fighting type character. So it was very hard to kind of watch him do this, and that. And then everyone has to buy into him. Now, he fought crazy, right? Don't get me wrong. And there was a time, too, I think, where Scar actually abused him. He had to go get new parts from, I think, Grandmama, right? But Ed was so charismatic, it's hard for me to say that he is the top character, but he's number 2. I don't know, man. This is a list. And I mean, most of these characters I'm looking at it are going to go down here. I don't think y'all matter enough. Or I've already kind of put someone else related to you or yourself up there. But let me think here. So let's rearrange this. I don't care about y'all. Come here. Honestly, the whole Mustang crew, you go above the Chimera. However, I don't think any of y'all have any importance to go higher than this. I would say Greed could be bottom B, but I'm going to put him here. We got Fan here. I'm going to put her here. I don't remember her doing anything except taking our mask and as a girl. This dude fought Sloth. I might put him a little bit higher. The mother, you could say that she's a reason that everything started. That's true. However, I don't want to put her too much higher than this. I can't. Nope. We know what happens here. You suck. Lust could have been a better homunculus. Sloth was a fine homunculus. Could have been better. The grandmama, I'm going to put her above. Yep, I'm going to put her above. Hawkeye, Gluttony. Yep, I'm going to put you a little bit lower. Gluttony, Winry. You know what? Winry's lower. Winry was not a part of the series enough. Winry's lower. Hugh's lower. Scar, Pride's a little bit lower. Scar's more important to both of you. Yao. And you get Greed. Yeah, let me hold on. Let me look at this. Make sure. Yeah. I'm putting Ling Yao there. Envy, Truth, Bradley, Mustang, Alphonse, Hohenheim, Ed. Man, I don't know if I like putting... I feel like it's too cliche to put Ed up here to talk because he didn't really start the series. But man, I don't like putting... No, it's all starts here. Because this was just an idea. But at the end of the day, he's the one that started the whole series. Yeah, that's Father. All right, this is a list. This is a list, y'all. Again, I want to thank you guys. Just got 11-some people that joined throughout this time of me live, and appreciate y'all being on live and everything. Again, let me know in the comments down below. Again, this is just for fun, y'all. Y'all ain't got to freak out, but this is just for fun. Let me know, again, what you would do it. Again, this list is to go over what characters I would say are most important to the series, okay, for what they do in the series. Not my favorite top whatever list, bottom whatever list, just for fun. That's all it is. We'll do another series. Again, let me know in the comments down below what you want to see next. And again, I'm going to start taking this live thing a little bit more broader. Maybe we'll do some other shows, talk about, I don't know, Persona or Nintendo Direct or something like that. Whatever comes out. But I really like y'all joining here and talking to y'all, part of the community. So I might make a post to say, hey, what do y'all want to see? I don't care what it is. Just want to talk to y'all. So other than that, we're going on an hour now. I want to say last thing. Thank you for joining. I would appreciate a, subscribe and like button. And also, I want to say, I hope y'all have a great summer. For those of y'all who are just, working or whatever, or on, summer vacation, whatever, be safe out there, okay? But have a great time, okay? So, other than that, I think that's all I got for y'all. So, got a new video coming up here tomorrow, so get ready for that one. Got some more stuff playing with shorts and everything like that. But until next time, let me know what you want to see next. Take care. Have a good one. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.